You're listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports, movies with good vibes. And we got some good vibes because the Nuggets finally won against the TWolves. Murray, yo. Murray. We'll dive into the game and get into more specifics. Let's get it. I couldn't do this podcast without my amazing equipment, so I'd like to give a shout out to Røde for the Røde Pod Mic USB, as well as Insta360 for the webcam link that I'm using, as well as Nanlite for all of the studio lighting that I have here. What's up, everyone? So we just had the Nuggets game against the TWolves. This was the preseason finale for at least the Nuggets. They went 1-4, so we didn't go winless. So thankful that we didn't go winless. We at least got one W, and if we had needed to get one W against the TWolves was the one to do it, because it was payback, and I'm guaranteeing you payback isn't fully paid yet. TWolves, we will be coming after you this season, and especially if we come back in the postseason. It's on. But yeah, let's get into the specifics here. So the Nuggets won 132-126. Still really close, but a win is a win, and we will take it, especially when it's against the TWolves. There was still some concerning things, but we had the normal starters for the Nuggets. They all played: Jokic, AG, MPJ, CB, and Jamal. And boy, did Jamal play. And you had them against the TWolves reserves. So a lot of people are going to talk about how they didn't really win against the actual Timberwolves. They're going to say that they won against the reserves. Bullshit. I call bullshit. You know why I call bullshit? Because, one, the Suns proved that you can beat starters with reserves. The OKC beat our reserves with their starters, and then the Timberwolves lost to the Chicago Bulls. So, not saying the Chicago Bulls is a horrible team, but they aren't better than the Timberwolves. At least they weren't last year. I love the Chicago Bulls. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love them. I've loved them ever since the Michael Jordan days. But they're not great right now. They got a lot of rebuilding to be doing, and they beat the Timberwolves. They're starters too. That was Ant. That was Gobert. That was Mike Conley. That was Julius Randle. That was Dante DiVincenzo. That was all of them. Chicago beat them. So don't be coming at me with your, oh, well, there was the reserves. It's all about effort. And especially tonight, the Nuggets had more effort. They cared more about this because when it comes to the Timberwolves, they have that chip on their shoulder from Game 7. So best believe that this isn't over yet by a long shot. Like, we weren't satisfied. Even from this win, we were not satisfied. So they will be coming back. But we needed this win after Game 7, because Game 7 in that losing a 20-point lead, ending the Game of Thrones ending, as I like to call it, really traumatized us to the point where we needed a win to bounce back. And I think this is the best way to end the preseason, move into the regular season, and start to get to work on actual growth and production here. So Jamal was hooping, y'all. He was hooping tonight. See the stats here. So he went 25. He got 25 points. He got 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And then he went 6 for 13 in field goals attempts. And then 3 points, he went 5 for 6. 5 for 6 in 3 points. He was on fire tonight. So awesome to see the blue arrow back. He was 8 and 8 in free throws. So didn't miss a single free throw. And he only had 1 foul. but he did have 3 turnovers, which that's one of the biggest things to need to grow on and expand on, or fix, I should say, for the next several game, the regular season itself, is turnovers. Turnovers was a huge issue even in this game. It's been a constant issue throughout all of preseason. It was an issue in the postseason last season. So that's something that they're going to continue to need to get better at. And then Michael Porter Jr. was also another good game from him. He got 16 points, 8 rebounds. He was 7 for 9 in field goal attempts and 1 for 1 in threes. So he only shot 1, but he made it, and it was beautiful. He went 1 for 2 in free throws. Not bad when you only get sent to the line once. And then he did have 4 personal fouls. So he had him and Sarge had the most personal fouls. He had a couple turnovers, just 2, so it's not a huge issue. That's pretty much what you ideally you want 0 turnovers, but you want to at least keep those down, and 2 is not horrible. And then AG, it wasn't a horrible game for AG. He showed up in other areas. He only made 5 points. He did have 4 rebounds and 5 assists, and then he had 1 block and 1 steal. Or actually, no, sorry, it was just 1 block, yeah. And then he attempted a lot of shots, but he didn't make them. So he was 1 for 6 in field goals and 0 for 2 in threes. He was 3 for 6 in in free throws. So, and I know that he practices them. I mean, he has a basketball court, a legit basketball court in his house. So I know he practices them every day. And so I don't know why sometimes he misses, but he misses sometimes. I mean, they all do. He's had games where he hasn't missed any. So, it just depends on how they're feeling. Jokic was not a good game for Jokic, but I don't know exactly what was going on with him, if they didn't press him enough or do enough plays for it to involve him. He only made 4 points, but he did have 7 rebounds, 7 assists. So he was borderline almost double-double, but with rebounds and assists. He had 3 steals and 1 block. He went 2 for 5 in field goals and didn't make any free throws. He did get sent to the line, and he missed. He got sent once, and he missed both of them. And then he went 0 for 0 in threes. He didn't even attempt a 3. And then he also had 4 personal fouls. So, but he had 3 turnovers. Yeah, he was one of the majority of players tonight had 3 turnovers at least. So that needs to be cleaned up a lot. Christian Brown, he made 11 points. So out of the starters, he was 3rd best. When you put Jokic in that and Aaron Gordon, that's actually saying something. So even the best players have off nights. So good to see Christian Brown still fighting for it. He had 6 rebounds. He had a couple of dunks that he almost landed, but then Timberwolves just met him at the rim and stopped him. It was kind of unfulfilling to see. You just really love to see those CB dunks. And then he had a steal and a block. He went 2 for 4 in the field goals. 1 for 2 in 3 points. So I'm glad that he's still attempting the 3 points. He's not getting completely discouraged. I know last episode I was talking about how he looks kind of scared, and I think he noticed that, or at least heard around everyone talking about that. And so he definitely, I feel like, is trying to correct that. And then he went 6 for 8 in free throws. So he only missed 2. Not horrible. He had 4 personal fouls as well. And then how many turnovers? He only had 1 turnover. So, yeah, not bad. The other thing was that AG, I noticed in the third, he just kind of ran out of gas. He got picked. He got pickpocketed by one of the players. I think it was, who was it? It was, I think it was a Clark. I think it was Jay Clark pickpocketed AG and one of the plays. And AG didn't even run after him. He just kind of stood there. And a little concerning. I know he has that soft tissue issue with his calf. So I hope it's nothing with that. And I hope it's not like a growing injury issue. I hope that he heals up over this next week and is able to bounce back and we get the AG that we're used to. And that might be also why he wasn't great at shooting today. It might have been tight for him. So, and the other issue was, of course, the bench. We still are suffering from bench issues, but the bench, at least a couple of people did show up tonight, which was nice. Let's talk about the first one is Westbrook. So Westbrook, since he's come to the Nuggets, a lot of teams who have had him before have warned Nuggets Nation about having Russell Westbrook on, that he's not going to save us, and that if anything, he's going to hurt us more than save us. And I don't know if I agree with that. I think that him and Jokic together make a great team. I think the word's already been spreading how much he's enlightening the rest of the team and just adding a little more pep to their step, if you will. But when he's playing, he is so inconsistent. I will already say that. Like, he was really good the first game against the Celtics for the preseason. But then he's on the games that he has played, he's doing like kind of half and half. Like, there's some players that they'll either just have a horrible night or a great night. And then there's Russell Westbrook, who has kind of both in one night. And so he made a lot of bad calls, but then he also made some good, amazing plays. He had 13 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block. He went 5 for 7 in field goals. He made 1 3, and that was the only 3 that he attempted, which is awesome. He went 2 for 4 in free throws. And then the big issue with him tonight was turnovers. He had 5 turnovers. He was the most in all of the roster for the Nuggets with turnovers tonight. So that was a big issue, and that was really frustrating to watch a little bit. It kind of made you sweat, especially when we're trying to win this thing, and every turnover they're getting a bucket on. It was really getting tiring. But he had 3 personal fouls. So, like I said before, that's kind of like the mean of personal foul numbers with everyone. They're all getting like 3 and so fouls. So, and then Sarge, our Sarge, he also went for 13 points, which was awesome. I'm actually more impressed with having him. I didn't think I would like him so much because noticing him on the Warriors, he didn't really do a lot for them. I don't feel like in the games that I saw, he was never a big help to get them to where they needed to be. I mean, it was mainly Kuminga and Curry, and when Green was in, he was very helpful and moody and everything. But I didn't really see Sarge as a big piece to their puzzle. But for the Nuggets, maybe it's Jokic, playing with Jokic again. He just kind of affects the whole team in a positive way. But he's been really beneficial to the Nuggets so far. So I'm really digging that. So yeah, 13 points. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. And then he went 4 for 5 in field goal attempts, 1 for 1 in 3 points. 3 points made. He made all of his free throws. So that's one aspect that I am loving Sarge in the Nuggets for, because we need more players to be able to make free throws. We still had some issues with free throws tonight, and they need to clean that up, but it was a lot better than the previous games, and I think he had a lot to do with that. And then one other player that I'll get to very soon here. And then he had 0 turnovers. You can't ask more than that. Thank you, Dario Sarge, for not having a single turnover. That's awesome. But he also had 4 personal fouls. So he was one of the several who almost, he got up really high on there on the personal foul issue. But and then Hunter Tyson, he is just struggling, man. I don't know what's going on with him. He is in a rut that he needs to get out of, because he is just looking like he's stuck in mud a lot of the times. He's getting outplayed constantly. He's getting his pocket picked. He's getting stuffed. He's getting, met at the rim, or like it's almost getting to the point where the other team is just letting him shoot, knowing that he's not going to make it. And it's so uncharacteristic of him, because he was so good in the Summer League. And in the G League last year, he was really good. So I don't know if it's a confidence issue or if he's healthy right now. I don't know. But I hope that he gets the support he needs to do better, because we need him. He can be a bucket maker. So, and then Vlatko Čančar played some minutes. He played 19 minutes tonight, and he went for 9 points. He had 2 rebounds and 3 assists. And then he was 4 for 6 in free field goal attempts, 1 for 2 and 3 points made. And then he didn't have any free throws. And then he had 0 turnovers as well and 0 personal fouls. So awesome, Vlatko. That's. I think he can do better. I know he can do better. He's before his surgery, he was averaging 20 points per game, and so he can definitely be a playmaker and a bucket getter, shot maker, and. So I know he can do better. It might just be a little bit rust. So I hope this season, gets him really loose and getting that ball going. Zeke Nnaji, he played 13 minutes tonight. And again, the whole Zeke Nnaji effect this preseason that's been really weird, that I said it before, is that he is not consistent enough. It's amazing when he's amazing. Like the previous games, he was amazing. But tonight, again, he didn't really show up. Like it seemed like he was almost in a bad mood or something. I don't know. But he had 0 energy in the fourth. He was just standing in the corner of the Nuggets side when we had possession, and he would just be looking bored. And I was really surprised by that. Surprised and not surprised, because it's nothing, I guess, new to him, and maybe there was a little bit of like upset that he didn't get more minutes, or he didn't get the right position that he wanted to, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's something bothering him, but he just didn't look like himself tonight. But he still made a rebound. He made 2 assists, and didn't make any points, but he even caused 2 fouls, and he also was on the receiving end of a putback, so he might have just been in a bad mood. Trey Alexander, he didn't make any point. He was on the floor for 5 minutes. He didn't have anything. And he did have 2 rebounds and 1 assist, 1 steal, which was nice. But he didn't make any shots. He attempted 2 field goals, made none. He attempted a 3-point shot, made none. And he even got a personal foul in there. But the bench player who did the best, and who actually did the best out of anyone in the Nuggets, was Julian Strawther. like I've said it before, and we've all are noticing it right now, he is heating up, and he is going to be a huge playmaker for this season for the Nuggets. He is just standing out. He made 33 points tonight. Like that's phenomenal. That is amazing. That's bubble Jamal Murray level, and this is his second year. So I am so excited to see him just grow and be a better player in general. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. He went for 8 for 13 in field goal attempts. He 5 for 8 in 3 points, and he went 12 for 13 in free throws. So he was the best aspect of free throws out of the Nuggets, because at least in making 12 out of 13. I know Murray didn't miss any, and Sarge didn't miss any, but they didn't go to the free throw. They didn't go to the line as much as Strawther did. So, yeah, that's really awesome. He had 3 turnovers though, and he had 3 personal fouls. So still some things that he needs to clean up and work on to be even stronger than he was before. But phenomenal game from Strawther. It was just really fun to see. It's always fun to see when a Nugget is like on point and heating up. So on the Timberwolves side, the player who was getting really annoying to us was Luka Garza, who went for 29 points. He had 9 rebounds, so he almost had a double-double. And then he had an assist. He went for 11 out of 17 on field goal attempts. He was 3 for 6 in 3 points, 4 for 6 in free throws. So not great in free throws. And then he had 1 turnover and 3 personal fouls. So it was him. Jake Clark made some really good plays. Dillingham made some good plays for them. But overall, luckily it wasn't enough. And I really wonder how this match would have ended up had their starters played. I think that was the kind of game that both Timberwolves and Nuggets wanted to see, that kind of rematch from the semifinals of the postseason. And I mean, Malone said it during the postseason of the semifinals there, that you could play these two teams 100 times and each team's going to win 50 out of those. Like, they're such a equal matchup against each other. And a lot of that has to do with their GM, Tim Conley, because he created the existing starter lineup for the Nuggets right now. And then he created the lineup for the Timberwolves, and he created it specifically to go against the Nuggets. So, like, it's a very even matchup between those two teams. And I actually think that's probably one of the more equal line matchups than Nuggets with anyone else, really. Last season we were fairly equal matched up to the Clippers, but I think the Timberwolves are even a better matchup than that. So, so Luka Garza, man, annoying. He was a pest tonight, but he did good. He did good for them. Let's talk about the feed, because I got to talk about my feed. I mean, I want my Denver feed. I didn't get it again. I know this is a Timberwolves match, but like I've said before, we've had Denver home games with no Denver feed. So, like, when are we going to get this Denver feed? I want to hear my altitude people. And we'll see, I guess, next week on the 24th for the season opener. Actually, a season opener and home game against the Thunder. See if it changes. Hopefully it does. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. But it was a little agonizing to listen to the Timberwolves feed, because their announcers or their commentators, I should say, were very, very biased, and they were not hiding their biasness against the Nuggets. There was a couple times where Michael Porter Jr. made some threes, and they called them twos. They were clearly threes, but they were trying to let everyone know that, or trying to almost like push this narrative that he was actually making twos, and they were still calling them threes, but they were actually twos. That's not the case. They were legitimately threes. And then they were making fun of the losses from the Nuggets. They were pointing out that we lost KCP. I mean, yeah, we lost KCP. It really hurts. It really freaking sucks. But Timberwolves lost Cat. So, that's what happens. It's part of the business. And then they were making fun of our bench. They were saying we weren't foul, or they were saying when the Nuggets got fouled, they were saying that wasn't a foul when it really was. And then vice versa, that the Timberwolves should have gotten fouled. And that's like typical fan reaction. That shouldn't be commentator reaction. The commentators know even more statistics than the regular fan does. So why they're acting like regular fans was just kind of annoying, if anything, to be listening to on a feed. So then getting back to the game, though, the Nuggets did contest some threes better this time around, but they didn't really do a great job. They did do a better job, but that is something that they still need to get better at, because there was still several threes that were not very well contested, and they will definitely need to do those. Again, like I said, the free throw woes. And so, yeah, looking ahead, we are wrapping up preseason here. I think that the big takeaway from this is just kind of seeing how these teams are going to line up throughout the rest of the season. How the players are going to play against each other and everything. I think that the Timberwolves are still going to be a very difficult matchup for the Nuggets. I think the OKC is going to be a frustrating matchup, and especially, oh boy, to be the first matchup of the season. I was really hoping for that not to be a thing, but it is what it is. So let's just hope that this time around we will be using our starters, our main starters. So hopefully they have their effort locked in, and they want it. Because I know the Nuggets fans, we want it. So I hope that goes. I think one thing I've noticed, so I also watched the Suns-Lakers game tonight. And, man, the Suns have an amazing bench right now. At least it's in the preseason, it's showing that they have a really good bench. Up until then, I know Timberwolves have a good bench. The Celtics have a good bench. I would say the Knicks have some depth in their bench, but the Suns, and it's from such unexpected players too. Like I didn't expect. There was a lot of improvement from the bench, I would say, from in the Suns, and of course, again, Colin Gillespie had to go there. And he's heating up. He was doing really well tonight against the Lakers. Made some critical 3-point shots that they needed. And so I think everyone had the Suns counted out, but they might be a force to deal with this season. I think that the Kings didn't do so well in preseason, but I think that they're going to play harder in regular season, so they're still going to be difficult to play. We'll see about the Clippers. I'm still kind of on the fence about them. James Harden, he's going to do what he does, but the fact that they lost Paul George, I don't know. Well, that's kind of still iffy. Mavericks, I think, have really grown, and they've got a lot going for them. they haven't won a lot of games in the preseason, but they also haven't had Luka play at all in those. So as soon as Luka is playing, you best believe that's going to be a very difficult team to face this season. And especially, they were kind of humiliated in the finals. That was like their first finals since 2011, and they kind of blew it. So they're going to be wanting revenge for that, and so it's going to be a difficult Western Conference for sure, and overall year. I would just like to see the Nuggets play it not necessarily safe, because I don't think safe gets you a lot. You need to risk some, and a lot of it is just going to be players kind of sucking it up, but you also don't want to push it too far to where it becomes injuries. But I think that they, as long as they stay healthy and they stay locked in this time around, and hopefully Malone won't play Jokic for the majority of the game, that he will rest Jamal when he needs. It would be great to see Jamal Murray finally make an All-Star. If not him, then Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon would be great. Hell, even if, Julian Strawther surprised us all and became an All-Star, like that would be phenomenal. And I don't think it's unheard of. I think that he could definitely be a most improved player by the end of the year, or sixth man of the year. Like that would be great. That'd be phenomenal to have. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below what you think about this season, about the Nuggets and the issues that they have to face this so far, with the free throw attempts, the contesting 3 points, making 3 points, and the overall conditioning and energy levels going in. I mean, the third period has continuously been the Achilles heel of the Nuggets last year, and it's still continuing into this year. So how can they make that better? Another thing, though, that was good tonight. So Nuggets won, but then also Broncos won, which was amazing. And they didn't just win; they dominated the Saints. They won 33-10. So big night for Colorado sports. Great to see them win both games in Nuggets and Broncos. Unfortunately, the Avs are continuing to have a losing streak, which was not very fun to watch last night with the Bruins facing them. And man, the Bruins got some dirty plays in, man. They totally blindsided Wood, and hopefully he's not injured. He got taken out, and then they turned around, and I forget who they hit after that, but they hit another guy, and they were like dropping like flies. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the Bruins. They play dirty. I mean, I know it's hockey and it gets aggressive and everything, but man, they have some dirty plays. So, well, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe and share it out to your friends and families. I would really appreciate the support. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports, movies with good vibes. And we definitely had some good vibes. See you again.